Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to another video from T.W White Sons. Here we have a Mazda6 Tourer. This is the 2.2, 184 PS, that's the power output, Sport Nav Plus model. This car is presented in machine grey with a black leather interior. Now, like with all our videos, we always like to give a little bit of a background on the vehicle, and this car we know very, very well. We actually registered this car in April 2019 as our demonstrator. Okay, I actually believe that this was the car I used to get to and from work, because I believe I was still in the company car scheme at the time. And the Mazda6 is one of the favourite cars in our model lineup. Now, we keep the cars for sort of 3 months and then we sell them on, and this was sold to a local family, and we know very well. Both the two brothers have bought many cars here at T.W White's Orpington, and he purchased this car and he's been very happy with it. But he part exchanges yesterday, and he picked up his electric car. He wasn't doing the journeys. I didn't really need a car this size, and it's got a charging point at work, so it all worked out very good. So yeah, he's delighted with the brand. Bought an MX-30, and we're delighted to have this back in part exchange. Now, this is a very well spec car. I'll go through the spec in just a moment, but I just want to point out the condition this car is in is absolutely beautiful. It's really lovely. There are a couple of grazes on the alloy wheels. They are only grazes, but they will be tended to, and I'll have them done in the next couple of days. Now, this is the Sport Nav Plus model, which has some revisions over the earlier cars, which I'll point out as we go through the car. But what we'll do is, let's start off with the rear of the car. Now, you've got this big hatch, okay, and a nice and flat sort of loading area, which I think is a really good, a real plus point for this vehicle, especially if you're loading big things into the boot. You've got this tonneau cover that folds away, okay, and now you can actually remove that and store that under here, okay. Let's pop that back on. Now, this is the party trick of the car. You've got these seats that fold down like so. So hopefully you can see how big this car, that the loading area can be made by putting these seats down, and the seats fold almost flat, I would say, not 180 degrees, but maybe 170, 175. So lots and lots of space. I've often said you could probably sleep in the back of the car quite comfortably. All right, so let's shut this down, and the seats pop up exactly as I'm doing that there. Okay, now you've got loads of room in the back, and you've got ISOFIX anchorages on the two outer rear seats, and they are really comfy, these seats, and very deep. Okay, they do fit child seats very well as well, and so you've got the ISOFIX there. Now, if you're going to use it as a four-seater, you've got an armrest, and you've got the all-important USB chargers in the back, so that will charge your device. Roof rails, they are very useful, especially for a car like this, so you can have a roof box, etc. In fact, I think the previous owner did have a roof box on this car. They did enjoy camping trips. And being the Sport Nav Plus model, you've got keyless entry, so you don't have to take the key out to get in the car. You've got your electric windows mirrors here. Notice the Bose stereo, so it's got Bose speakers, stereo amplifier, so it's incredible. And being the Sport, you've got an electric seat, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I've missed one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8-way, 8-way adjustable, and you've got lumbar there, and you've got memory here, and you can actually set the memory to your key fob. So if you approach the car with your key fob and open the car will, the seat will adjust to that setting stored in that key. And if the second driver approached the car, the seat would move to their seat setting, which I think is a very, very nice thing. Down here you've got parking sensors. Now you've got parking sensors front and rear. You also have a rear parking camera. You've got traction control. You've got lane departure warning, and I'll explain that in a minute. And you've got an engine i-stops, an intelligent start-stop system, which will turn the engine off when you're stationary in traffic, which ultimately is better for the environment, but it will save you money because it will use less fuel. Okay, so let's hop in the vehicle. Okay, so remember I was saying about this being a Sport Nav Plus model. Now that's got a lot to do with the safety devices on this car. Now you've got two keys with the car. Look, I've still got the original stock label. That's not my handwriting. Yeah, it's still with the car. That's a nice little touch, I think. So foot on the clutch, this will light up green. You push start and the car will fire up into life. Now, let's start with the safety functions. So the Plus model came with radar cruise control. Okay, so you don't have to keep adjusting your cruise control speed. The car will do it for you because it has a radar in the Mazda emblem at the front, which will track the car in front of you and slow you down as that car, truck, etc. slows down. Okay, so a much more useful cruise control system, this adaptive system, especially on UK roads, because I'd say we have quite denser road. There's denser traffic on our roads. You've got automatic wipers, auto lights, and now with the Plus model you've got high beam control. So if you put your high beam on, okay, you've got LED lights. Now my the way I describe these lights are I can see more in the dark than I can at night. I hope that makes sense to you. And if you've got the high beam on, if a car comes the other way, it will actually dip the lights, okay? And it will do it in a way not to completely switch off, or it could completely switch off, but it will be so you don't blind oncoming traffic, and it really is marvellous, a fantastic thing. I can't speak more highly of it. So I've mentioned the wipers, the lights, the high beam control. Now earlier I mentioned lane departure warning. So if you were to veer out of a lane, so dual carriageway motorway, without indicating, the car would think you're not paying attention, and it shall warn you either by a bleep or a rumble. You can set the sensitivity, but another great feature. But you can switch it off if it's too intrusive by just pressing that button there. Now you've also got blind spot monitoring. Now I don't know if you can see, there's a little greyed out area there on the wing mirror. We've got the same on the other wing mirror. If someone was to overtake you or undertake you, it'll light up and bleep just to say, look, someone's coming on the inside and outside, just be careful. Another fantastic feature. I believe these are all recognised by insurance companies and therefore should reflect in your insurance premium. Right, now the mileage on the vehicle, in case I haven't mentioned, is 18,347 miles. And I'll just share this with you. Mazda have a digital service record. So this car was PDI'd in 2018, okay? And so this was probably our showroom car for the best part of 6 months. And then we registered it in 19. Okay, in April 19. So we must have sold it there, look, in May, August, where we did the first service. So we did it prematurely, okay. And then the previous customer brought it in on the 22nd of May this year at 15,023 miles. Okay, so then 18. So what's that? About 3,000 miles. Okay, so it's got a full documented Mazda service history. Okay. I must mention, actually, you've got a heated steering wheel on this car, which is fantastic, and 3-stage heated seats for the front seats. Now, being the Plus model, you've got this slightly larger screen here, the earlier cars had a smaller screen, significantly smaller, but the software is pretty much the same. And you've also got a heads-up display which projects onto the glass rather than a little flappy bit that comes up, which it's okay, it's better than not, but projecting onto the screen is far better. And you've also got this updated climate control panel. So it's dual zone, and I remember on the earlier ones the heated steering wheel button would be over here, which I thought was a bit strange, being it's on the driver's side. It's probably got to do with left-hand drive models or something like that. You've got a CD player, 6-speed gearbox, you've got the electric handbrake, the multimedia commander, or what I call the human interface, to help operate the radio, the sat nav, all the car's settings, etc. can all be accessed safely when driving. Not that I'm promoting that, of course, but this is also touchscreen when the car's stationary. As you can see there, look, it's got DAB radio. Gentleman was a music teacher actually who had the car, and I think it's got good taste in music. There you go, listening to Radio Gold. Got this lovely dash actually with this sort of faux leather effect, door cards, dash. Got an enormous glove box, all the books are present. Okay, right, so I'm going to take you through here. So I'm going to use the human interface just to show you how easy it is. You've got an apps page here, fuel economy monitor and things like that. Look, it's done 40.5 mpg. He only really lives round here and goes to school and back, which is, as a stone's throw, which is one of the reasons he's getting his electric car. Notice this here. This car's got IE loop, which is almost like it redirects energy. So when you're braking, etc., to charge a secondary battery, which will then run the heater, your lights, your music, etc., putting less strain on the engine, and therefore saving power being zapped from the engine. Okay, and therefore there's less emissions, so it's better for the environment. So it's another sort of function that's better for the environment. So it's almost like our mild hybrid system. In fact, it's pretty much the same as our mild hybrid system on our current vehicles. So I hope that makes sense, but you can also check out a video on YouTube, but it will show you something much like this. Okay, so when you're braking, this will charge up, that will run the bits in the car, less stress on the engine, use less fuel, and then be better on the environment. Okay, so we got that there. Now down here it will say about this is iStop, so it says it's not ready. So your iStop will work when the engine, the battery, when the car's running it, it's like optimum. Okay, I think you've also got to have the seatbelt on from memory. And then when you stop in traffic, you take the car out of gear, foot on the brake, the car will switch off. Okay, so we've got that there. That's on the apps page. Vehicle status monitor. You've got like maintenance reminders, warning, guidance. Now on this apps page, you can actually add, upgrade this to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you can access, view, control a lot of the apps that you have on your smartphone through this system. And then you can use things like Google Maps and Waze and Spotify, etc. So entertainment, let's go, entertainment, here we go. So you've got DAB, as mentioned earlier. You've got the traditional channels, FM, AM. Bluetooth and Stitcher are apps, and then you've got USB 1 and 2, which are in here, which you can charge, you can read data, and you've got an auxiliary there. I can't remember the last time I used one of them. And you've got a 12 volt, what we used to call years ago as the cigarette lighter socket. It's a 12 volt socket in there. Okay, so you've got 4 USBs, 2 for charging, 4 for charging, and 2 read data. So you can play music off a memory stick, etc. I don't. If you're not familiar with DAB, I think it's the future. You've got lots and lots more channels to choose from, and you'll get things like Magic 80s, Magic 90s. Sort of subsidiaries of the main of the main channels. Right, so communication. Once your phone's paired up, you've got your call lists, phone book, you can access all that. And if you've got an Android phone, it will also read your text messages to you. Now the nav, as I say, you can upgrade this to have CarPlay, and then you can use the nav, the apps on your phone, but the built-in one is very, very good from Mazda. Dead easy to use. You put your postcode in and off you go. Okay, covers you in Europe as well. You can update the maps just by putting the SD card into your computer at home. It's got some nice functions where you can select things nearby. Now I'm always looking for fuel stations when I'm picking up cars, and it will tell you fuel station, the direction and the distance, and you know the make of the brand, the company, which is good because I know some people, especially company car drivers, will have a fuel card that they can only use in, say, Texaco. So yeah, very useful. Now you can set up a Wi-Fi hotspot from your phone, so your car is in effect connected to the internet, and it will also come up there with fuel prices, and then you can get live traffic updates, and it'll only use a minuscule amount of data. Okay, so let's moving on. Settings. Now you can adjust the heads-up display there. What's out there? You got display settings. You can turn that off and show the clock. There's loads of things here. The safety settings that I explained to you are here, but you've also got distance recognition system, okay, which is your adaptive cruise control, smart city brake support, smart brake support, so the brakes will actually be applied on the vehicle if you get too close to an object in front. For example, that low wall. If I was to drive towards that low wall, but there was no driver input, so I'm not turning, accelerating, steering, the car thinks I'm sort of looking out the window, I'm not paying attention, it will apply the brakes. That's another fabulous feature, and that is recognised by insurance companies, because a lot of accidents happen at low speed, which would be in that scenario. And if the more that are prevented, the better for them. Blind spot monitoring we mentioned. It's also got lane keep assist, so if when you're driving along, the car will actually keep you within the white lines, okay, which is a bit disconcerting. I remember my father driving one of these cars. He said, "Oh, this, it kind of sort of steers for you, and if you took your hands off the wheel, it would correct you twice." And I'm not saying you do this, of course, and it will come up onto the screen, hold steering wheel. I saw that at the launch of one of these cars. You've got traffic sign recognition system, and you've got your parking sensor indicator there. Sound system is fabulous. It's Bose. I think we've all probably heard of Bose. They're a premium sound system. They make premium speakers, etc. I think they started off doing household stuff, but now they're into the cars as well. And so it's a bespoke system made specifically for this car. It's got Bose center point. I remember someone showing me playing some opera music and playing it through here, and it sounds really, really fabulous. Okay, so sound we've covered. Clock is GPS synced, so you don't ever have to set that. It will set itself. Vehicle settings, you've got door lock, lighting settings. Car's got keyless entry, so when you walk away, look, it's set. When you walk away with the keys on your person, the car will lock itself, which I think is great. It will also bleep, but you can change these settings here. Now, if I went through all these settings, we'd be here for a long time, but these are sort of the highlights. You've got coming home, leaving home lights, so you know when you open the car up at night, the lights will stay on to give you safe passage to the car, and also when you're leaving the car to give you safe passage to your front door. Okay, so all great stuff there. You've got your Bluetooth and network management there, and you can change your units, etc. Okay, so I hope this video has given you a good idea of how lovely this car is. So if you're looking for a Mazda 6 estate, this is certainly one to have a close look at, and we're happy to answer any questions, and no matter how small. If there's more specific photographs or videos you'd like to send us, no problem. And do try us at any time of day. you know, if you do try the main line and we don't answer, leave a message and we will come back to you very, very quickly, or drop us an email out of hours, and we'll come back to you. We do pick up our emails and we do pick up the voicemails. Part exchange, I just want to say, is extremely welcome. I know there's a lot of sort of hype about, you know, selling your car privately and then coming in and getting a better deal. You'll get the best deal with a part exchange, you really will. We want to make the whole process as easy, seamless, and as enjoyable as possible. Okay, we like try to make it as enjoyable as possible. Do you know, I've just looked down here and I thought I haven't actually mentioned this. You've got dual zone climate control as well. Sorry, I did forget to mention that. So the car will come with a year's Mazda warranty. That's the ZZ Plus Mazda used car warranty, which also has roadside assistance, and it's not like a bare bones roadside assistance. It's home start. It covers you in Europe. It covers the car, so anyone that uses the car. Okay, so fully comprehensive. And you've got MOT insurance for the first year. So if your car should fail its MOT, after you've, you know, taken the car, after, you know, a year down the line, there are certain things that are covered. And obviously the little cosmetic bits and pieces I shall have done over the next couple of days. So as I say, anything you'd like to know about the car, please don't hesitate to ask, no matter how small. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and we look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.